Deadpool and Wolverine is a lot of things. Is Deadpool and Wolverine the MCU savior? The MCU Jesus that he's claiming to be? That's something we're gonna break down in this episode. But if you look at Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie 83%. I'm still trying to process how I feel about this movie. What was Deadpool and Wolverine?
Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the movie by now.
With Deadpool and Wolverine, we follow the direct events of Deadpool 2. We start off the movie with a really funny intro scene. That shit actually had me dying.
Which?
Bro was dancing.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot.
The angles were so stupid too. Like I'm watching it and he's doing this shit. I'm like, what am I watching? It starts off with him looking for Wolverine and then it does a flashback. So when we flash back, it's been 6 years since we last seen Deadpool to begin with, and his life is in shambles. My boy's not Deadpool no more. His girl left him, and he can't pay his rent. Bro is out here completely effed up. He gets the call to action when he's at his birthday party and a TVA agent comes in and he's just like, yo, you gotta leave this universe because I'm about to blow this up.
We're gonna come and blow New Jersey up. Bang, bang.
He gives Deadpool the opportunity to become the MCU Jesus, and he's like, well, what's gonna happen to my homies? And he's like, they're gonna die, but you get to leave. That right there at that moment is where I started to already feel kind of like, we're gonna break it down, but there was like a whole bunch of plot problems with that. Deadpool's solution to saving his universe is to find a Wolverine, because the whole entire thing is, your universe is blowing up because in Logan, Wolverine died, and he was the anchor of y'all universe. So he thinks that by going out and finding another Wolverine that's gonna save his, it doesn't work. And so they get pruned and sent to the void. They meet Cassandra Nova, and honestly, bro, that's the movie. There's no rhyme or real reason to it. Welcome to another episode of Kaylex Encounter, and if you've been here before, Kaylex. One thing you pointed out to me, that Cowboy Deadpool.
Matthew McConaughey, that voice, you know, like it's
that
one of those
cowboy voice.
Yeah. Like,
all right.
I don't understand how you didn't know. You can't miss his voice.
I saw a lot of people hyped up about Lady Deadpool. The whole thing was Ryan Reynolds' wife was playing a Lady Deadpool, which I had no idea. One thing I respect about this movie was definitely made for the hardcore Deadpool fans.
One thing I did like about the movie is the comic accuracy. Round one of Deadpool versus Wolverine. Wolverine went full Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
His John Jones shit.
We finally got to see a comic accurate Wolverine fight. I need more.
My only cameos that I liked was Elektra, Gambit, which was fucking hilarious, Blade, and Chris Evans as the Human Torch. I liked the story elements of those cameos, the four rejects that kind of was out on their own. Oh, and Cavill. Cavill was one of them cameos though. Caught me all guard. Bro said, shh. He did the reloaded arms, bro.
I said, ooh.
I understood that reference.
But the audience reactions, bro. But on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it an 80%. I don't know how the critics are giving it 80%. And then the audience are giving it 96%. IMDb is giving it an 8.3. Metacritic gave this movie a 56% out of 100.
I don't agree with the 56, but I understand you.
So this one dude, the top critic on Rotten Tomato, he says, messy as it is, Deadpool and Wolverine is the first MCU movie in several years that's mostly enjoyable. It's almost at times overdone. Irish Independent says, Deadpool and Wolverine isn't just a bad film, it's an empty one, ugly, uninspired. It has no soul, no purpose, no real value.
Like last week, I texted Adler, I'm like, yo, the trailer is ugly. He was like, nah, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. The suits look dope.
That's all I paid attention. The suits was the only thing. I saw colors. I saw a bright red, bright yellow. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm with it.
I think I ignored it because I'm like, I'm not talking about the suit.
We was on two different.
The film itself was just very ugly.
Andrew Candle said, this is a film that gleefully announces no moment develops from a natural interest in building its story. Instead, it wallows in its outsized state of infallibility. It does what it wants merely because it can. These characters deserve better, and so do we. In some of our older videos, my biggest fear was that since they have such a big budget, they were gonna abuse the heck out of it.
They say Logan is Deadpool's anchor. That makes no sense.
I think it was just vibes, bro.
What?
No, I'm not even trying to be funny.
What?
I think they did that off of vibes. Everything's discombobulated. This has been 6 years since we've seen Deadpool. Cool, we know who all his friends are, but we get in and he broke up with his girl. Wait, what? In the last movie, he literally saves her so that they could go off and be together. The character motivations, we get it. He wants to save his friends. But in this movie, we don't spend enough time with him and his friends for us to care enough. We just have a birthday party.
But then also, there was no reason for Mr. Paradox to end Deadpool's timeline. Like, just for plot reasons, that's why they did it. He could have just let it run its course.
Then we meet Wolverine, and it's like Deadpool has to lie to Wolverine. Everything is exposition. And then he calls it out, but just because you call something out doesn't make it good. The idea for Deadpool and Wolverine, the theme behind it was about being a reject and being thrown away. So Deadpool deals with that with not being able to join the Avengers, which they kind of shoehorned in. And then he deals with that with the girlfriend. Cassandra Nova gets into his head and says, some out-of-pocket shit, that shit hurt me. That was out of pocket. So it's trying to really dig into those emotions, but it has no balance on comedy and drama. Shit just happens. Again, just vibes. I'm waiting for something to happen. It's just a fucking banter.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
I'm like, could we get on with this shit? We kind of just, whatever we see with Wolverine is what we get. We don't get to see any real backstory, and I kind of would have wanted to see that. Instead of telling me, that's a good way to show a character introduction because now we understand what he's fighting for. There's nothing particularly interesting about the Void to begin with. It's uninteresting, like you said, it just becomes ugly. You had a point about it being like a cameo galore.
Well, yeah, that was pretty much the entire movie. I think it was like, what, on average, every 6 minutes we got another cameo.
I didn't think Deadpool was funny, bro. After a certain point, I thought his humor was annoying more than anything.
Deadpool could fart. They in it. Ah!
But that was the thing.
dog farted. They lost their mind, cuz.
But Deadpool 1 did such a good job with balancing out the humor and story. And this movie is shit with that. In the third act, Deadpool goes to sacrifice his life to stop the thing from blowing up, to destroy the timeline. Bro is at the window, walking downstairs, looking into the window, doing shit like this. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but this is just bad placement. It's just not funny to me. I'm never gonna talk shit about James Gunn again, because it's difficult to balance comedy and drama the way that they did. And Hugh Jackman was going through a real storyline that makes me realize the script was kind of trash. You could tell where Hugh Jackman just enters that zone and just starts acting his ass off, because he started giving me Prisoners vibes. In the movie Prisoners, Hugh Jackman is sitting there with Jake Gyllenhaal, and they're in the car, and he's like just banging on the shit, and they're just like yelling at each other. That was improv.
She's wondering why I'm not there to fucking rescue her. Do you understand that? Me, not you, but me! Every day!
And he kind of does the same exact thing when he's talking to Deadpool, where he's like, "You let a stripper leave you?" And he went, "Oh, first of all, that's fighting words, bro. That's out of pocket." That was him in his zone. And I sit there and I'm just like, damn, Marvel really sits there and butchers people's performances. They fucked up Christian Bale's performance with Gore. They fucking up Hugh Jackman. Who else do we have that has all this range and Marvel can't utilize that? I think
Mahershala Ali. Speaking of Mahershala Ali,
we never seen this dude.
we are
Blade,
never,
bro.
and they acknowledged it. Wesley, first of all, Wesley Snipes made it known it's only one blade.
One blade, bro.
Speaking of Blade, our Blade video is currently at 193K views. Our best performing video on this channel, and we just want to say thank you.
By the time we get this version of the video uploaded, hopefully we'll have reached 6,000 subscribers, and we wanted to do a reveal and say thank you to every single one of y'all for being a part of the Kaylex journey. Woo! I'm happy about saying it at the same time. Look at this beauty. Look at that. We're gonna go hang it up. Thank you guys so much for the support. We're about to hit 6,000 subs. That sounds crazy. Bro, this movie is nasty, bro. This movie is ugly, bro. I'm sorry. And when November comes around, y'all will understand. Overall, I don't think this is the MCU savior.
No, it 100% is gonna make bank. People only go to the movies for event movies. Why wasn't Furiosa an event for?
Yo, Furiosa was art, bro. That's art. That's art, bro. Since Dune. Let's make that clear. Dune is still #1 of the year.
His opinion.
Comment how you felt about Deadpool, and we'll see you in the next encounter.
Peace.